Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, May the 11th. You're with Heidi and Colette on this afternoon edition of First Local. We've got a bunch of stuff, such as new numbers for the province. We're going to talk a little bit about if you work for Starbucks, you might be pretty happy. And a couple airport bailouts, as well as some information about our local airport. That's what's on my agenda. What's on your agenda?
Well, we have the same agenda, which is why it works so well.
We're doing the same story?
I just lost sound again.
Oh, she lost sound. Okay.
There we go.
We're also going to check in with Perdita. Let's check in on Perdita.
But she...
Well, so far we're doing a pretty good job clearing those clouds away. We're seeing a lot more sun in our forecast today than we did yesterday. And the temperature's right now sitting at 6 degrees. The winds are gusting to about 37 kilometers, but they're not steady winds, so if they're in and out of those gusts. But so overall, we're seeing a pretty nice day today. We'll take a look at the radar, show you where those showers are. You can see them exiting the area. They're being pushed down south. We're going to be left with just a mix of sun and cloud and then clearing for later on today. And then we start seeing some really nice temperatures head our way for tomorrow and several days after that. This is the next 12, or the rest of your day. This is what it looks like. We have a mixed sun and cloud now. Temperatures, we should hit 7 degrees in the next little while, actually. And then evening, we should hit 9 degrees because the winds will be lower, and we see a lot more sun in the forecast for our evening. And then just clear conditions overnight, dropping down to the freezing mark, so there could be a chance of some light frost in the morning. But we're going to get rid of that frost because we're going to see our temperatures head up to about 16, 17 degrees. So let's take a look at the next 3 days there, Mike. There we go for your day Wednesday. Plenty of sun in the forecast. We could still see some passing clouds, so don't be worried about that. But the temperatures on their way up, and they continue to climb into our weekend, and I will show you that at 5 o'clock. Right now, let's send it back to Heidi and Colette for the rest of the show.
Well,
we
thank
get
you.
to speak now. Thanks,
thank
Craig.
you, Perdita.
Cut us off.
I love how he had the 3-day forecast, but how are your eggs? Because that's who we were throwing to the bird.
We were throwing to the falcon.
And we got the 3-day forecast instead of looking at the 3 eggs.
Well, at least now the weather's out of the way.
It is.
It's my fault.
So we're well aware that it was your fault. I'm just kidding. Well, let's go see the Perdita.
Let's go see Perdita.
If they show Craig again, I might just die.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, still there.
You know what? I think for tomorrow morning, I'm going to find out what the incubation period is, because I want to know when we can expect, and then we can start like a FalCam countdown to hatchlings.
Okay.
Those little fuzzy little
Chicks.
pink wee birds.
Chicks. Oh my God.
Chicks. They're probably chicks. I don't know.
I don't think
falcons.
so. Baby falcons.
Falcats.
Kids. We went back to the Billy the goat yesterday.
That's right. I
We'll
wonder
go
if
back
they
there
found
today.
that little baby goat.
I'm not too sure.
Well, let's get to the Band-Aid, and it's a bigger Band-Aid than I'd like to be ripping in this moment, but you know what, we'll go into it anyway, because I think that provincially it's a little bit lighter, so we might be able to kind of present like a more balanced sort of vision.
Yeah.
So Algoma Public Health is reporting 5 new cases of COVID-19 today, all from Sault Ste. Marie and area. Additionally, there are 3 new hospitalizations of Algoma residents, because we actually had gotten to a place where there were no local residents in hospital, although 2 from outside of Algoma were in hospital.
Yep.
And 3 new cases screened positive for the variants of concern. So through contact tracing, Algoma Public Health does notify and contact people directly if they are considered to have been a close contact to any new cases. So if you are not contacted, you are not considered to be a close contact. So cases 347 through 351 are reported to be self-isolating. 4 out of 5 listing cause of exposure as close contact, with 1 listing unknown in terms of cause of exposure. So Algoma regions with COVID-19 cases reported in the past 10 days do include Sault Ste. Marie and area, Elliott Lake and area, as well as now North Algoma. Local rolling totals, 137,257 tests have been administered, out of which we have confirmed 351 cases. Currently, 19 of those cases are considered to be active, We have 3 Algoma residents in hospital plus 2 non-Algoma residents in hospital, and the number of resolved cases has climbed to 332. We are at 68 cases that have screened positive for variants of concern. Now, provincially, Ontario is reporting 2,073 new COVID-19 cases and 15 additional deaths on Tuesday. Wow. So that's...
No, it's significantly lower. And once you see your Toronto and Halton or Peel numbers, you'll
for sure
be happy about that.
So and here it is. Yeah, this is the lowest daily increase of cases since March 24th. There were 28,109 tests completed in the last 24-hour period, so up slightly from the more than 27,000 a day ago. And again, the reminder that the numbers for testing are typically down earlier in the week. So locally, so now going into the hot spots, 685 new cases in Toronto. Wow, Peel has dropped significantly, eh?
Yep.
389 in Peel, 231 in York Region, and 144 in Durham. So resolved cases have now outnumbered new cases for 3 weeks straight. There were 2,898 resolved cases reported on Tuesday. So things appear to be trending in a more positive direction. So let's keep that trend going.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll remember the other day I was talking about a hotel in Toronto with which, you know, people will go there for 3 days. Remember we were talking about the controversy over how many days you're quarantining for, whether 3 days, 10 days, 14 days, who knows? We're making things up as we go. So the one hotel that was affected was in the GTA. Now we've got 2 more.
Okay.
By the airport, 2 federally designated quarantine hotels are now recording outbreaks. Hampton Inn Suites, which is in Mississauga, as well as the Holiday in Toronto, which is right next door to Pearson International. According to Toronto Public Health, the outbreak was declared on May 3rd, but then lifted the day after. Again, this is the 3rd quarantine hotel in the GTA affected by the outbreak. The other one, as I said, was the down in the downtown core of Toronto. So Peel Public Health determines whether businesses should fully close. What they're doing is if 5 or more people are affected, they are closing down the entire business.
Okay.
Now, because these hotels are listed as essential services, they are not closing the hotels. Okay. And that's where we're at with that.
All right. All right. Locally, on May 11th, officers with patrol services charged 27-year-old Joseph Fabiano with theft over $5,000. On May 7th, a riding lawn tractor and trailer were reported stolen from a property on the 0 to 100 block of Old Garden River Road. An investigation began and the accused was identified as a suspect in the theft. A warrant was requested for his arrest. So on May 11th, so today, wow, okay, officers located the accused in the 200 block of Poplar Avenue, and he was arrested on the strength of the warrant. A subsequent search of the area of arrest found the accused to be in possession of identification and bank cards reported stolen on May 8th. He is charged with theft over $5,000, possession of property obtained by crime, theft of a credit card, and breach of recognizance. He was held for bail court.
On passenger, once in a while we receive from Terry Bose, who is the head of the Sault airport, and he releases, you know, the activity that's gone on, and with comparisons from this time last year and the year before that. So the Sault Ste. Marie Area Development Corporation is unique. And again, I just like to point this out every time we bring up these numbers, because our airport is very unique because we're the 2 regions where we do not have any municipal or regional government affiliations. It is based on, it's a non-for-profit corporation, and it's based on funding. So as such, the SSMADC must fund all operation and capital costs on its own. Hence why you've got your parking that you're paying for. That money comes back into the airport as well. There's some of the some visuals from our wonderful airport. The last time I was there, it was the Santa Claus parade, and it was pretty damn cold but fun. Aircraft traffic movements, as you know, have been affected by the pandemic. I'm just going to break down some stuff that Terry did share with us today. Bearskin Airlines is operating up to 2 flights Sunday and up to 4 flights For daily flights Monday to Friday, Bearskin Airlines is always a treat. Air Canada Express is offering 6 flights per week. This continues to be a major decrease in flight operations compared to May of 2019. Clearly, we're not even bothering with 2020 numbers. Air Canada was flying 4 flights daily. Porter was flying 3 daily flights Sunday to Friday and 1 on Saturday. Bearskin was once upon a time flying 5 flights Monday, 6 on Tuesday, 7, 5. I mean, the numbers were quite significant. So clearly, our local airport is suffering, travel suffering, and with Porter Airlines not running or operating yet without your free gas line, lots of crap.
Yeah.
Now, just to piggyback that article, I just wanted to slide into something else that the federal government announced today. They are unlocks $740 million in airport relief. The federal government is launching a basket of programs to bolster airports with hundreds of millions of dollars in funding, first announced back in November. I'm going to break this down for you. A government official who spoke on condition of anonymity, yes, I just said that without a problem, because the announcement is not yet public, says Ottawa has laid out the criteria for airports to access $740 million in capital investments. So nearly $500 million of that windfall is bound for large airports to put toward critical infrastructure, such as runway repairs and transit stations. Most of the rest is en route to smaller airports, whose definition has been loosened temporarily to allow 8 more sites to apply from Prince George to Gander, Newfoundland. The government previously announced $435 million, roughly evenly split between airport rent, relief, and support for air transportation. So the aviation, as we know, industry has taken a huge hit through all of this.
Yes.
A lot of Air Canada, WestJet, they did have a lot of bailout packages that were going on. So, I mean, here's some more funding that the federal government is now helping out those airports, and hopefully we get those planes back in the sky soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because I'd love to go somewhere. I mean, I have no money to go anywhere, but I would really
baby.
like. Oh, yeah,
Costa Rica. Okay. Okay, so a story that we have been following. Cost of gas could potentially be increasing in the near future. Yeah, just when you're hunting for a car.
Just when I'm hunting for a car. Let's just elevate those.
You know what? And
costs.
when we first sounded the alarm, I did not fill up, and I have to go fill up, so I guess I better do that soon. So Canadian workers and others who benefit from Enbridge's line number 5 are anxiously watching what's playing out this week in Michigan, which has given the Calgary-based company until Wednesday to shut down the pipeline. Okay, so now this is a move that is, while it is backed by some Indigenous groups, decommissioning the pipeline would cut off a major source of fuel for Ontario and for Quebec. And for its part, Enbridge insisted to CBC News on Wednesday that it won't halt operations unless forced to by a court to do so. Okay, so yeah, Sarnia officials are emphasizing the significance of Enbridge's line number 5 to members of Parliament, citing that the possible, the quote is, you want to provide for your family and give them everything they could possibly want or need. Yeah. And this pipeline, because some interested groups are suggesting that it's a threat to Canada's energy security. So definitely a big story that we are following, and we will bring more as it comes available. But the deadline is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
wow.
it's
so we should have information sooner.
Soon, yeah. Well, I'm looking into it this afternoon, that's for sure.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, but we are going to talk a little bit about Starbucks and what they're doing for their employees, which is quite impressive. We're also going to talk about a endangered little tiger cub who passed away at the Toronto Zoo. We still haven't located that goat. Haven't heard anything bad about him.
No.
And we'll be right back with all that and more. Come right up.
Inches home to Lola bounds. This large male sports a weight trimming black fur asserts dominance over.
You don't need a media monkey to make healthy choices. Think for yourself. A message from Concerned Children's Advertisers.
hiding? Where's hiding? I don't know what's going on. I don't think I work here anymore.
Well, thank goodness I wasn't doing anything too embarrassing.
You were picking your nose earlier. You're lucky that I can't.
Yeah, but you didn't catch that on camera, did you?
No, you didn't.
You did not.
What are we doing?
All right. Well, you know what? There's a lot of heavy news today, so I'm trying to kind of. I'm struggling to find the balance, right? You know, a horrible shooting in Russia that did end up in killing 7 kids, 1 teacher. The suspect has been arrested. So this is in the Russian city of Kazan, and you know, students were sent running out of the building. A smoke poured from its windows. At least 8 people killed, as I stated. 21 others hospitalized. So you know, the Russian media said that while some students were able to escape, others were trapped inside during the ordeal. All students were eventually evacuated to nearby daycare centers and collected by their family. So the terrorist has been arrested. He is 19 years old. A firearm is registered in his name, and other accomplices have not been established. An investigation is underway. So imagine being trapped inside your school while that's happening. I can't even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's crazy too. In the States, they've had so many shootings too over the last a couple months ago. I think we're like every week we're reporting another shooting, about 3 mass shootings, and one was in Boulder, Colorado too. Like they haven't had enough going on there. Okay, well, let's talk about tall blondes. Well, I'm talking about Starbucks. When I go to order my coffee, I always ask for a tall blonde, and I get looked at. I do it purposely because I think it's funny. I'll have a tall blonde.
Blondish, but definitely not tall.
I'm not down with blondes, so sorry. Well, we're not. We had this conversation before, remember?
It's true. No,
yeah. Exception might be Brad Pitt, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, he is not what I'm ordering. So tall blondes, if you want to go and order your tall blonde, perhaps you might want to be a barista, because Starbucks is offering all of its Canadian retail employees 3 temporary paid sick days from April 19th to September the 25. The move comes after Ontario announced a similar 3-day sick leave policy that would reimburse employers $200 to cover off the day for their pay for their employee. The COVID-19 pandemic has strengthened calls for businesses to accommodate employees with paid sick leave that come down with the virus. Starbucks says the paid sick days will be in addition to its they already have their own COVID protocols, supporting which include up to 2 hours of paid time to go get your vaccination. Remember, like, your dart? Or
or if you use the dart, you wouldn't have to leave work, arguably.
Absolutely. You could just sit there. And also, they are offer a few days off if you have any kind of side effect feelings from getting your vaccination. So Starbucks says the paid sick days will be in addition to these. The company also announced it will be raising its starting barista rate to 25 cents above provincial minimum wage starting May 31st. I think I want a job. It says all hourly baristas, shift supervisors, and cafe attendants will receive at least a 5% increase in pay.
Very nice.
5% is significant. When I worked for my government job, it was, I think it was about 3%, 2%. Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
That's a great deal.
If you're looking for a job, guys, there is a Starbucks here in town, and there's one in Pino's, and maybe there might be another one in Pino's when the new one opens, right?
Yeah, that's right, hey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just a thought. So, barista. I just wanted to say it one more time.
In southern Ontario, Canadian companies are trying to move the needle on COVID-19 vaccinations with discounts and freebies for customers who can show proof that they've received at least their first dose. So insurers, food businesses, and even tech companies are unveiling promotions aimed at convincing people to get the jab in exchange for savings and giveaways. You know, experts are saying that the offers could lend corporate clout to an important cause, but also encourage consumers to return to favorite shops or discover new and local brands amid the temporary lockdowns. So, you know, kind of like a two-pronged approach. So vaccine-related promotions are being used by Canadian companies, including Sombrero Latin Food, And this is a grocery.
Sorry, I'm thinking barista and sombrero, like it's Taco Tuesday.
What are you having tonight?
I am having a salad.
Yeah, so a lot of different, I won't go into all of them obviously, but there are a lot of different, companies that are getting involved. Polarity Brewing and Whitehorse will give vaccinated customers a $6 discount on beer or food purchases.
Not MGD?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask. In Kitchener, Ontario, the museum will offer free admission to the vaccinated through a campaign called Jabbed Like Jagger, which is, of course, a reference to Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger, who has encouraged vaccination and will feature heavily in an upcoming exhibit on the band.
What about Move Like Jagger? You got the moves like
Well, you can't move like Jagger when you're getting a needle.
Yeah.
You just got to take the jab.
Got a point.
Take the jab.
Take the jab.
Some insurance, Manulife Financial will give some of its vaccinated customers enrolled in the Vitality program rewards points that you can eventually use towards, a gift card, gadgets. Yeah, so a lot of interesting approaches, to encourage people. Although, the decision to get vaccinated is, somewhat contentious for a lot of people and a very personal decision.
Yeah.
There are rewards on the horizon if you decide to go in that direction.
Well, thank you, Heidi. And perhaps you might even get 3 different vaccinations because we're not too sure if we've got enough to cover anybody. Which brings me to Mr. Hair Bear. Justin Trudeau had a little announcement today. He's saying, while progress is being made nationwide. Sorry, Jacob. Eggs he loves is Justin Trudeau, but I just made fun of his hair. With more Canadians receiving vaccines, public health measures are not poised to be eased until COVID-19 case counts are down. What does this mean? He wants to see 75% of the country inoculated before he eases restrictions. Speaking in Ottawa today, Trudeau said Canada can have a 1-dose summer that will in turn set us up for a 2-dose fall. Okay. Once that happens, the PM admitted that he'll be able to talk about going back to schools, back to work, and back to normality, which as we know it, I'm not too sure if we're ever going to go back to pre-COVID normality. I think the new norm might be our little maskies. Once that happens, I've already read that part. Almost 50% of eligible adults have received at least 1 shot. Canada is in the top 3 countries of the G20 in terms of daily vaccinations. By the summer, they'll have enough vaccines so that every eligible Canadian will have gotten their first shot. Eligible Canadian. Do you see that? Do you see the way that the politicians speak?
Funny.
I know.
I would make you eligible right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm not eligible. Almost 40% of Canadians have been vaccinated to date. I'm just trying to pull some numbers here from Old Hair Guy today. Trudeau reiterated his promise that Canadians over the age of 12 should have access to their first dose before the end of June. Huh? The scientific director of Ontario's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table says outdoor activities like golf, tennis, and beach volleyball are low risk because Ontario would like to see outdoor recreation facilities lifted if we push our closures till June or July, which we were discussing yesterday.
Yep.
This is all hearsay. This is all politics. This is all, well, some could argue BS. So, you have another story? I have one more story after this, but
on the heels of that, there was an article that was released discussing, the advice that Ontario's advised to stay the course, with pandemic restrictions.
Yeah.
And this is according to the health minister. And since they're already discussing the potential extension of the lockdown, this is obviously kind of intended to educate people around the discussions and why it should go in this direction. Mm-hmm. So they're looking, again, like you just said, they're looking for a pretty significant drop. There's like a lot of...
That's what I was doing today. There's a lot of this
significant
going on.
drop.
A lot of politics.
It's almost like, you remember at the weddings, like... I knew you'd go there with me. Yes.
Love the chicken dance.
Okay, anyway, let's go to a fun factoid because this is enough.
I don't want to talk about this poor cub that died in the Toronto Zoo. That just
I have some just good information, and I've got 3 things to hit.
Okay, let's
And I'm
do
going
it.
to do it in these last, what do I have, 4 minutes?
Do we have social media today?
Oh,
Do we have
social media.
there,
Oh,
honey, or
no,
what's
now
going
I'm
on?
under the gun. Leave it to me, eh? Leave it to me. I always manage to push it right to the last minute. Okay. Margaret McKeag says, good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Margaret. It just makes me happy to see your name.
Hello, Margaret.
So supportive. Bradley, yo, how you doing?
How you doing, Bradley? How you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing? Inika, good afternoon, everyone.
What are we eating? What are we eating?
I think it's a bento box,
Oh, nice call.
but I could not tell you what is in that because
Oh.
I don't have my glasses.
Did I give you your glasses back from today?
I took them,
Oh,
but I don't usually bring them in with me because I'm still in denial. Marilyn says, good afternoon, everyone, with the little closed-eyed smiley and 5 exclamation points.
Nice.
Good afternoon.
Nice.
Can't wait for warmer weather. LOL. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. So we have two sunshines with the facial features. We've got a masked emoji. We've got 2 of the cats. Wow.
What?
6 beer and 2 glasses of wine.
Who's
Atta
this? Who's doing
girl.
this?
This is Marilyn.
What are you doing tonight, Marilyn?
Well, she's volunteering for TAG, clearly.
Right. She's clean. She deserves any celebration she can.
Now,
offer.
Steve, ordinarily our
Steve?
acronym man, is speaking to me only in emojis.
Oh.
He is waving a hand. There are 2 flowers and 2 beers, so I'm not sure if there's a message in there, but I'm going to work on that now. You've given me something to think about in my non-existent spare time later on. Christina, ooh, nice spelling of the name, Christina.
Spell for me.
Krystyna, Christina.
Very unique.
And she said it's definitely paid off. Yes.
I feel
Oh,
like
yes.
I feel like our shutdown.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
You know what? Like, yeah, I thought it was Wednesday. Remember, it's Tuesday. So
yeah.
whatever. But yes,
Okay.
you're absolutely right, Christina, with
It's
the beautiful
paying
spelling
off.
of your
It's
name.
paying
Yes.
off. So, the upside of doing,
Nothing.
what we're not. Yes.
Nothing. Doing
Okay,
nothing.
good. Cindy says, good afternoon, everyone, with a couple of closed-eyed smilers, a couple of bouquets of flowers, some beers. See, people are feeling me. I don't actually drink through the week, and I didn't get any MGD on the weekend, but I'm hopeful for this weekend. Okay, before we end off again, I did talk this morning about a limited time promotion that we're running. Your opportunity as a small business owner to put words in our mouth about your business. We can do, you can contact Nicole directly and get a limited time offer, a really great deal. I think it's like $25 a week.
$25
or
a
something.
week.
Yeah, so, a little sponsorship
Yeah.
on the show. So you can contact Nicole directly. And I meant to bring her cell phone number in here, and I'm looking to the monitor because I'm hoping that somebody in there has it.
Well, I mean, you just go to SueOnline.com and go to advertising, and you'll find it.
But yeah, just a little way. I thought it was a great idea that
Yeah.
she had, a little way to give back in a time when, businesses have been hard hit, and, their marketing is so very valuable and it just kind of keeps your visibility high.
Yeah, but it's also pretty reasonable for our small business owners
It's
too.
amazing. It's amazing. So good. And apart from that, just a reminder again that the Arch 50/50 is in full fly.
Hey.
Tickets on sale until March 31st.
Factoid.
Oh, my factoid. And I can't even believe. Do
You
you
have 30
know?
seconds for this factoid.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
You don't pressure my friend. She'll get it.
May 11th, 1969, British comedy
1969.
troupe.
All right, let's go.
Monty Python is
Oh,
formed.
here we go.
It's made up of Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, Michael Jones, and Michael Palin. Their films include classics like Monty Python and The Quest for the Holy Grail,
Yeah.
Meaning of Life, Life of Brian, also known for their sitcom, The Flying Circus. If you've never checked it out, please do. What a treat.
Oh, yeah. John Cleese is
See you in
hilarious.
the morning.
Now, tomorrow is Wednesday. See you tomorrow on Wednesday.